I will do is tell you the story of the London 2012 Olympic Games. The president of the IOC is Jacques Rogge. Jacques Rogge describes the Games as being the most complex logistical challenge that any country faces except when it engages and goes to war. The opportunity to stage an Olympic Games is one of the biggest opportunities that any country ever has. Within the country, of course, it's an opportunity for the country to feel good about itself. The television audience is estimated at 4 billion people around the globe, looking in on your country in a way that they would never normally see. So you have that opportunity, if you can do it well, to impress. So from an industry point of view, perhaps it leads to future contracts for your companies. And equally importantly, of course, you are showing your country as a place to visit. During each of these phases, we would always publish every year what we were planning to do for the next year. So we made public to the press, to the government, to everybody who wanted to know what we were going to do during the next 12 months. Delivery partner consisted in this situation of 3 companies who worked together as a joint venture. We paid them a bonus for delivering the project on time and for keeping the project within the budget. The other big challenge of an Olympic Games is transport. Were we going to be able to move the spectators and the public? And then we went into a major public relations exercise starting about 4 months before the Games, in which we deliberately kept telling people that London was going to be awful during the Games. So stay away, go on holiday, and it worked. I've put up for you 3 basic questions here, which I would argue are basic questions on any project. Why are we doing it? What is it that we're going to do? And how are we going to do it? Now, we had to ask ourselves those 3 questions for each of the stadia. We then had to say, well, what happens after the Games? Why was it a success? Cross-party political support. A fixed deadline is brilliant. If you don't have one, create one. Very early attention to the government structures. You've got to have a sensible budget. If you have too tight a budget, you'll fail. You've got to have very clear client leadership. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the most important person is the client, and it's the client who is normally responsible for projects going wrong, because the client usually doesn't know what he wants, he hasn't spent enough time thinking about the why and the what, and so he's constantly changing his mind, and the contractor and the designers are left to pick up the pieces of these constant changes. I think for anybody in any business, the opportunity to get away from the day-to-day business and to come to somewhere different, to come to somewhere where you can meet people from other industries and from other backgrounds, to listen to their experiences and be exposed to a wider range of opinion. At the time, you don't see the value sometimes. You think, well, that was okay, but what did I learn? And then maybe 6 months later, you actually start to remember things which you heard and you discussed.
Skolkovo.